can't just wake up and run Comrades. You know, you can't just. I mean, before, I think I did my first marathon in 2022.
Yes.
Even that, yeah. So even that, you know, I wouldn't just wake up and go and run a marathon.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of your time.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of your time from your family, your friends. Unless if your friends are also running, then you spend time together running.
Before guys, did you vote?
Yes, no, we vote.
Did you vote? We are on.
You know,
I need to check.
What do the kids say?
It's
a democratic right that we do not take for granted.
If I said I didn't vote, the views are going to go down. People are going to check.
I mean, there's a lot of there's a great sense of achievement with finishing Comrades, conquering Comrades. I mean, just being in the.
But anyway, we're recording. I Mr. Ngoepe, right?
I know.
No, it's good, man. Hey, man, what's running? Like we're talking just now, Ray. When you play soccer in the beginning, did you play tennis? What?
Yeah.
Did you do a sport and put in this much dedication in your life before? Your sporting background, general, just before we get into the running, what was it?
Sure, no sporting background whatsoever. I struggled a lot in my
primary
days, high school. High school was actually even better. Primary, I struggled. I couldn't run. I couldn't play soccer. I couldn't do anything.
Did you participate in any, or you tested?
Well, I tested, but I was just struggling. Maybe I was just too weak.
I don't know why. Back in those days, I grew up in Alex, so back in those days, soccer was like the thing. If you couldn't play soccer. So remember, I was not naturally gifted.
Yeah.
So I practiced. For a weekend, to kick the ball against the wall just to practice.
I saw your video a long time ago. You were playing an indoor soccer. Wow.
Yeah.
This guy is super active.
Yeah.
No. So
the one thing that I tried, I think, so in high school I tried a bit of cricket. I think it was the year where there was a World Cup.
Yes,
2003. Yes, that's when I tried a bit of cricket with some guys. We made our own beds, and one of the guys had his old cricket ball, and it was nice. But I mean, obviously, you could only do it up to so far.
So you just improvised. I think that's. I think people of our background have had to really much.
Yeah.
We've had to do that because cricket is such an expensive sport.
Yeah.
We've had to improvise.
Yeah. We
used
used that. And,
so that was nice.
Yeah,
so I suppose you did tennis ball then.
Luckily one of the guys had a real cricket ball, but it was so old, very hard.
Yeah.
So every time we play, you have to make sure that you can't miss it, because otherwise
it doesn't hit you.
Doesn't hit you, because otherwise it becomes too painful.
Yeah.
But I haven't really participated much in sports. I wish I did. I wanted to participate in sports, but I think my condition couldn't allow at the time.
Personally, I admire guys like you even more Because normally you meet a lot of guys with a soccer background, this or the physios, the gym, fanatics, CrossFit, you name them. Guys like me that just dive in and then already you're almost a sub-3 runner. That's amazing. Such a short time.
So I think for me, I mean, it's always about if I start something, I want to finish it. And I think with running, I found that I could apply it in any situation in life.
Nice.
You know,
anytime
I could, especially because you could set your own targets within running. You see yourself also, going through that preparation phase towards your targets, and you see yourself achieving those targets. So I think naturally in one's professional life, one's personal life, you actually see yourself applying that practically.
So it agreed with something within you.
Yes.
You're a preparation person.
Yeah.
Whether you got it from high school or so, if you see prep, you're able to follow it until you reach a goal. So you find out that running provided that for you.
Yeah.
Which allowed you to
So I mean it was one way, because it does require discipline as well, and like any other goal in life that you do require some level of discipline. You require commitment as well. That once you set your plan, you want to also understand how many times do you have to do that. How many times do you have to prepare? If I'm preparing for a maths test, I know how many times I have to go through a question or a concept for me to understand it. And that it provided that, and I think I don't know, because it also requires a lot of time. If I would have managed maybe in school, if I took it this serious. So I think there's also that part, because as much as we enjoy running, I think a lot of people do not realize that once you fully commit to running, it takes a lot of your time. It takes a lot of your time from your family, from your friends. Unless if your friends are also running, then you spend time together running. But I mean, it's one that requires a lot of commitment, requires a lot of discipline. One has to practice so many times before getting to that target. And I think, in South Africa, we're blessed that we have Comrades. It is one that actually helps
in the middle of the year. So
it helps you with that. You know that you would not take chances when it comes to Comrades, and then that discipline comes with knowing that you're going to run Comrades.
It's actually amazing you said that, because something like a Comrades also gets you to admire, I think, something like a 10K. Like you can't just. I remember before I ran Comrades, I was going to 21 without preparing, or 10K. Like I know I'm just gonna wing it, and then but Comrades, but you can't.
Yes.
Your knees will explode. So you actually get that part where I need to plan out my life with the family, with the friends, and you realize quickly that you have to make friends in the running community very quickly.
Yes.
For you to succeed, which I cherish so much. But you raised a good point about preparation. That Comrades also leads into other things, whether in life, whether it's a 10K, whether it's your work. Can you elaborate further on that?
So, I mean, I think we all know Comrades is tough. And it's I think it's the toughest race, to be honest, in South Africa. I know there might be other ultra marathons, but I think Comrades, we know it's one of the most difficult races in the running community.
I think Comrades is tricky because it's not a trail, It's a road, so it's at the same time, you know, you have to move fast.
Yeah.
It's set in a way that you have to just move fast enough.
Yes.
So that it's tough. And then there's the pressure now. Now you get into the pressure of Steady Silver and Bill Rowans and all of that. So if it was a trail run or one of those mountain runs, you know, I think it would have been okay. Would have been like, I can do it once or twice, and I wouldn't feel the pressure, or things like that. Because of the way it's set, even the most established runners doubt. That's why we don't get a lot of leads from Kenya and wherever.
Yeah.
Because a few come and then I remember last year we had a guy from Japan. We had, I think, Pete was the only guy who actually came in and conquered Comrades from an international point of view. A few years ago, we had those Russian ladies, twins. But they also found, there was some scandals going on. But despite that, it's tough for people to just come in and rock it and think.
I think there's a lot of there's a great sense of achievement with finishing Comrades, conquering Comrades. Just being in the starting line, you've done so much because of obviously the qualifying times and how much training one needs to do before the actual race. So I think it applies even in our professional lives that for me to present a business case, I have to really think about my audience. I have to think about who can potentially invest in my business, who can buy into my proposal, and things like that. So it's those things where people you have to. It teaches you that discipline, that you can't just wake up and run Comrades. You can't just. Before, I think I did my first marathon in 2022.
Yes.
Even that. So even that. I wouldn't just wake up and go and run a marathon.
Yeah.
But I think now that I've gained confidence in running, and I think even without training, I can wake up and go and run a marathon and still finish within probably 5 hours. While before, I respected a marathon so much because I knew that it's so difficult to just even get to the finish line. And I think it's the same with Comrades, that I've only done it once. Doing it for the second time, even that I don't think I'll ever just wake up or run just one race and think I'm ready, or without training that out. So I think it teaches you that anything that is difficult, it doesn't mean that it's impossible. But you just need to approach it the same way that one is preparing for Comrades. You know when to rest, you know when to push yourself, you know when to hold on and just keep going, and I think that's general.
At the risk of being biblical, the Comrades journey for most people, it just reminds me of the story of Noah's Ark.
Yes.
That if you don't prepare for that flood, you know what I mean. It's the margins of error are that small that your boat or your ark must be that tight. Everything must be in place for you to be. I love that the story also involves the family must be there also. So everyone must be kind of in line. For you to go there intact. But we can go on about this for forever and ever and ever. But we'll elaborate more when as this continues. But
or when you come back.
When you come from Comrades, sit back.
I love the point of planning. Planning, running, my brother. It will humble you. It will teach you how to plan, and it will teach you respect. And I think for most of the people or members of RunAlex or just the running community in general, I've seen that firsthand. The transformation, personality-wise and life-wise, they become, like for instance, Coach Banana. When I saw with him at the send-off, he was like a completely different person. They were even wearing nice in
Yes.
hands. You know, I couldn't believe what people.
Confidence level
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
But anyway, that's what I wanted to touch on. Like
Yeah.
the planning part. A lot of people don't plan.
Yeah.
That's true. But if you're in the running community and you don't plan, you're gonna have problems.
I think
From a simple 5 kilometer training, if
Yeah.
you don't plan for it prior, then you're gonna have problems.
I love that you mentioned Coach Banana because the Comrades journey speaks so much about inspirations. I mean, which is what I want to get into now. You get inspired by normal people
Yes.
more than your elites or whatever.
Yes.
I've never had that before before running Comrades.
Yes.
You know, because you want to be part of the game, or you know, it's part of the clique, so to speak.
Yeah.
And once you're in, I mean, Coach Banana, I think his confidence levels, I think, is up.
Yeah.
Because for so long he's been wanting to be part of, RunAlex,
Yes.
Comrade planners. And now because he's in, you see, he even
Yes.
dresses the part. So, who are your inspirations? Famous or not, or both, whatever. Or,
Yeah. You know,
I think in running in general.
yeah. I think, I mean, obviously, you're right that the inspiration in most cases would come from people who are not necessarily elites, because, you know, when you see them achieving, you know, great things, you can relate.
Just like what?
Yeah, you know.
The relay Olympic.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of great people there for the first time.
Yeah.
And they're doing wonders.
Yes.
Rather unlike, as opposed to if it's a normal 100 meters,
Yeah.
70 meters.
Yeah.
But there, because it's a community kind of like situation, it was just beautiful.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Yeah, no, I mean, absolutely. You meet people that were not running before, but they are now running and they are achieving great things. You know, I mean, I remember my story when I started running. I just moved to KZN, and you know, being there, and my family was here in Nedbank, so I had to find something to do, obviously, and running and gym were the only two things that could keep me busy outside, you know, work. And I remember a former colleague and friend invited me for, well, she actually suggested we should register for this marathon. At the time, actually, she was suggesting the half marathon, and when I wanted to join the half marathon, it was sold out. Because usually Sunny Stagger,
now you left,
Sunny Stagger in one day, half marathon is out. And the only option I had was a marathon, and I've never done.
Oh yeah,
marathon
you in KZN, so
yes. So I had to. I did not have any other option. So, but, I mean, I was like, let me try. I mean, if I don't finish or I don't get to.
So let me get this straight. By the time you registered for Sunny Stagger, how long have you been running for?
No.
You've been no background.
So I moved literally in September. So I started beginning of September, and I knew about the race.
Okay.
Just after moving.
And the race is November.
The race is in November. So I actually had September, October to prepare.
You feel like
So-
you're taking chances?
I don't think you do because you don't know.
Not really. Not really. Well, I think I accepted the challenge.
Yeah.
So I said,
That's the spirit.
you know, since, you know, I wanted to do something which was half, and I couldn't find the ticket for the entry for the half, then why not full? And what was scary was that the half start at the top of the mountain, coming down, and then the full marathon starts there by the hotel, which is you know, just outside Underbeg. So you go up to the top of the mountain and come back, basically. So that was the scary part, that the elevation gain was around 1,800. You know, the elevation gain. So
You went for the worst.
So yeah, no, it was. I think thinking about it, I actually thought, you know, it was a big mistake. But every time I reflect on that, I think it's one race that actually pushed me to where I am now.
I think-
you know, it sort of dealt with my fears.
Exactly.
That you know, you can't let fear stop you from doing what you love and what you're passionate about. So, and I think obviously with running you develop the passion as you go.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, the more you do it, you start loving it more because you actually realize that.
I think you've had the toughest start to running.
It was tough.
You had the toughest start I've ever had.
It was tough. It was tough.
Funny thing. I mean, I hear people talking about they did the Sots marathon by mistake. They wanted the 21.
Yeah.
But you went for Sunday Stag on elevation of 2 million basically. And then also running down after running up for so long is so difficult also. But I get your point when you say that after doing something so difficult like that, it's easy for you. Well, not easy, but you are more brave now to actually accept other challenges.
Yeah.
You know, let's say running a sub 14:10, like it's a bit tougher.
Yeah.
And now you have the power of preparation, like you said.
Yes.
So no, that's sure. Kudos.
Yeah. So I mean, it took me about 2 months to prepare, but I remember at the time speaking to some guys at gym who were also preparing. I think they were probably preparing for Sanlam at the time, and I didn't even know what. I didn't even know.
This is what 2022.
Yeah. So I mean, I didn't know much about running. I didn't know which races are there. I just knew the Comrades, which is the longest road running race and oldest as well in South Africa. So, I mean, I at the time I never thought I would run Comrades. I always thought people who run Comrades have bigger problems. And here I am now today.
I thought everyone was like me. I had a 10-year plan, Comrades. I remember 2012, 2013.
10-year plan.
Every year you're increasing a couple of kilometers.
21. I don't know. I remember at the time I was dating someone that their father did Comrades. Comrades. I'll do it one day. Every now and then, you know, they'd call me for long runs. What's that club called Bedford View? The one that just came.
GP.
It's GP. Anyway, one of those clubs. So he used to say, no, I'm Comrades. I'm on my, I think I was on his 8th at the time. I was like, Comrades, I'll do it. You know, I have time.
Yeah.
And then it went, you know, and then lockdowns happened. I was supposed to do my first one during lockdowns. But yeah, to hear your story that you went 2022, Sunday Stag. This thing, we just, and then what happened after?
So I mean, I finished Sunny Stag I think in 5 hours 56 minutes. Obviously, I still remember that because I mean it was a big sub 6 to celebrate. Now when I think about the subs, that
the best sub 6 of your life,
best sub 6 ever. But I mean, the race was beautiful. The views, stunning, the food, everything. I enjoyed everything except obviously I picked up an injury, an hamstring injury at the time. But everything was perfect. But because of that and what you know, the sense of achieving, you know, or finishing my first marathon, I realized that I can actually set up. I mean, I can set any goal and I can actually achieve it. And I just needed a bit of guidance and you know and a different focus. So I mean, from Sunny Stag I went to run I think it was Wonder Park in January. So from November.
You
jumped into it in January, and I remember it was actually my birthday, and then I got a nice sub 4. I was like, okay, so you know,
like that.
So this thing,
people take 20 years to get sub 4.
And I realized, actually,
did you know sub 4 was a thing?
No, at the time, I think because I knew my first marathon was 5:56. And if I could cut 1 hour 30 minutes, 1 hour 56 minutes, that's a big achievement.
by
Even
that
if it
time-
wasn't, you know, about the SAP or what.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The fact that I've managed to cut 2 hours, almost 2 hours.
But
of my marathon
almost like
time.
it's almost like you had a natural intuition into running. So you knew, okay, I didn't perform as much as better because of the elevation,
Yes.
preparation,
Yeah.
whatever.
You didn't even think about the pain that you
You know, and injury at the
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
You know, I mean, it would have taken me forever. Without people around me, it would have taken me forever
Yeah.
to understand these things. On an elevation,
Yes.
there's preparation, but you went, okay, next marathon,
Yeah.
sub 4.
And at the time, I mean, I didn't even have a club.
Yeah. Yes.
But that gave me an idea that actually, if I could do this, then I can actually run a marathon. I can run Comrades. Obviously, I respected Comrades because
So both the Wonder Park and the first one you did was on temporary license.
yeah. So obviously with Comrades, I knew because I've seen people on TV who
Yeah.
couldn't stand on their feet after
Yeah.
running because this thing is tough. I knew it's painful, and with that pain, one needs to prepare. And obviously, because I was going to gym as well, I would ask the guys at gym and say, how do some runners manage to finish with so much strong legs and without shaking and others can't? And that's when I learned about obviously the strength training and some of the exercises that you need to mix in the running and the preparation that helps one to become.
Nowadays, since I knew you, you don't make a mistake when coming to these things.
No, it's very important.
Even Coach Ricardo, you must have a space.
Was it space core training? Even now and then, just kind of before you go to bed to do something.
Yeah.
So no, I mean, fast forward. Okay, now you do your first sub 4. Do you have a club? What happens? How do you join your first club?
Yeah.
Take us through that journey.
Yeah. So with the first lap, obviously now you're registering races. I think we were preparing for
This is after Wonder Park 2023.
Wonder Park, and then I had the courage to do 2 Oceans. I think at the time
Wonder Park 2 Oceans.
Yeah, so I was like, if I'm going to do Comrades, I need to test some ultra first before I can actually do Comrades, because marathon is half.
Yeah.
It's half of Comrades,
Yeah.
so I can't use that as a
as a
gauge
gauge.
that I'm ready for. No. So obviously with 2 Oceans, they needed one to be a member of a club.
Yeah.
And
strict entry regulations.
Yes. So then I looked around KZN. I couldn't find a club. I think I ended up with Nedbank.
Yeah. Or the elites.
Because they were the only guys that I could see when I go to gym. I would see them some days training.
So it was not because you saw them in the past 2 races and you also wanted to be there.
Well, I knew Nedbank is quite popular in most races, but also at the time, I mean, being a new runner, you don't know there's a difference between the elites and the rest of us. So I also didn't know that there's obviously what we see on TV as the Nedbank runners are actually the elite.
And they're always in the front.
The guys who are always winning races. And I mean, you only realize that once you're there. But then, I mean, obviously later I came back to.
So you put yourself under that pressure now.
Yes, now I'm part of a club. I've registered for 2 Oceans. I think earlier that year I sort of moved back to Joburg and do a bit of hybrid between Joburg and KZN.
To get the altitude.
Yeah, and then I think that's where I met Masubani and the guys in 2 Oceans. I think you were there as well.
Rotating guy.
Yeah. So
So
then
2 Oceans.
So then obviously now that I'm here in Gauteng, and by the way, I've never trained with any of the guys Nedbank.
Oh,
so
okay,
I mean,
yeah.
most of the time
So we
it
were
was
just
just
thinking-
solo training.
Yeah.
Because also it depend, most of the time it wasn't like, I think they only had like, I would normally see them once a week
Yeah.
posting about the training, but yeah. So
I'm still fascinated about how fast tracked your journey was. It's almost unfair. Like yes, you did tuitions. I mean, I'll confess something. Tuitions for me was, I'm more scared of tuitions than Comrades. Because tuitions has this pace factor.
Yeah.
For 56Ks.
Yes.
You have to run at your marathon pace.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize that until I ran it the first time. I was in the 20K. It's like,
Yeah.
this is too fast.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
want
yeah.
to do 56.
Yeah.
Running this fast.
Yeah.
With those heels,
I mean-
those two heels coming.
I've
Yeah.
learned that
So-
at the PS.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's almost like a race like your omni dams and then you hit what's that chap, is it Sarki, you hit Sarki. So yeah, tell us a little bit about that. How was your how was the preparations? How was your run in general? Were you expecting anything?
So
it was just preparations for you.
You know with running, there's always, I think you always want to challenge yourself. I think that's what I've realized, and that's what keeps most people in running.
Yeah, exactly.
In that you always want to do better than you did the last
that's
time.
true.
And with so I did my calculations, and I mean, as much as they were not guided,
Yeah.
I thought if I could do a sub 4 in a marathon, then I could do a sub 5 in inclusion.
Yeah.
I thought it's practical, but no, it's given.
No, it's
right?
given. That was my
and-
fear.
Yeah.
That's 14 days.
But
yeah.
obviously, because people talk about the race before the actual race, you actually learn a lot about
Exactly.
it from people who ran it with experience and all that. So I knew there's two challenges. First, the
Champions Peak.
and then Constantia. So I knew those were the two. But I mean, I always thought,
It's just a heat.
it's just a hill, and maybe people talk from their own experience.
Over exaggerate and
if I prepare,
No, exactly.
But I mean, during the race, you actually realize that experience is the best teacher.
Yeah. No.
Yes, you have to experience it yourself.
No, exactly. It was also my first tuitions. Yeah, I see it on TV. Champions Peak didn't look as hard as it's on TV.
Yeah.
Constantia's same thing.
And especially when you see the elites just,
No, exactly. They just
climbing
climb
that,
up.
So
So I remember I was in the middle of Champions Peak.
Yeah.
I've been climbing. It's beautiful, whatever.
Yeah.
So that's distracting. I've been. And I had to climb that other one at the end, and then your sub 5 now becomes in doubt or whatever your target is.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, best experience ever, personally.
Yeah.
Also, especially when I consider that you're going for Comrades. I think it solidifies your confidence.
Yes.
So I'd advise any new runner or whatever, if you can, that you only down or tuitions just to get to the best. But I mean, your finish, how was that?
Yeah. So, like I said, your experience is the best teacher. Obviously, you get through, the first climb, which is Chapman, which is usually with training it's great. It's still a morning breeze. You're fine. You're happy. You cruise.
Absolutely.
And then you start going down.
That's where the
push
that's where the
as
problems
well.
start.
And then you don't realize your mistakes. And I think that's why I'm saying that with experience comes a lot of learning as well.
Exactly.
You get to learn. I mean, I watched the recording of that Two Oceans.
Yeah.
And I listened to the guys, the commentators, when they talk about the race profile and how they describe, because most of them are also runners, so they know these things. You listen to how they actually talk about how you need to manage your race. And
Race management.
I mean, I didn't know about that. I just went and
I'm still struggling with that.
I just went and
even with
and,
especially with ultras, but we'll get to that another day. But
so I mean, obviously Chapman was fine. I think problems started at Constantia, started cramping, walked for a very long time. Likely there were some physios there, a bit of spray and all that. I remember I had put some reps on my knees. I think I only walked like 200 meters. I took them off because I couldn't even walk with those.
So it's numbing for the it's almost numbing for the family quality. So yeah, I mean,
so because of that, I mean, I was like, okay, so this is a good experience. One is to learn to manage their race, but also, I mean, I think a lot of it also had to do with the preparation, which I think one thing that you never hear people sharing is how your profile, so your race profile, or your training profile needs to speak to your race profile.
Exactly.
Because a lot of the time we just run, and
it doesn't match.
And it doesn't match. So you find yourself running on a flat course most of the time, but you know you're going to do an uphill.
Exactly.
Or you're going to do a down.
You haven't done hill repeats.
But you haven't done
your strength
training. You haven't done your squats and all those.
Exactly.
So I think that's one thing I've learned also from that. One needs to match.
I still say when you
training profile to the
you learn things. You're learning things in 6 months that people take 10 years in running to learn, which is fascinating. That again, I still say you have this natural intuition into running. But how does your training compare now between then and after joining us now?
Yeah. So, I mean, I think because I've never really participated in club training and things like that until I met RunAlex. So I think, I mean, the only reference I have so far is RunAlex. So
that's the only reference.
That's the only reference.
That's the only one you need for forever. That's the only reference you need.
Yeah. So I think with RunAlex, obviously, the first thing that is very important is that you've got all the route profiles you need for
any race.
For any race.
It was by accident. This was not by design. I don't know whether.
So any race that you need, come to Alex. I mean, whether it's flat, we've got a flat course for that. Whether you need to do track, we've got track for that. If you need hills, we've got hills for that.
Track was a blessing. Alex track is a blessing.
So I think that really was a great eye opener, and that's how I started to realize that almost every elite or every marathon or race winner, they link their training profile to the race profile. You even somehow have to simulate that in your training. To say, if I want to run this pace on this day, at some point I need to simulate it. It's not like
it's a perfect because you have to almost visualize yourself. While you're running, you have to visualize yourself being in the moment, climbing, pulling shorts, whatever target you're doing. So exactly that's why sometimes I like track sessions so much, especially when you're training for something like that. You have to run the pace, visualize yourself doing it for that 3 hours. As painful as it is, I still have stomach cramps from a speed session. That's how it's there.
So I think, I mean, that for me helped, and it obviously brought the confidence for even more for comrades that I've got within the team, within the club, people who've done comrades. Some of them have done it once, some of them we're going to do it for the first time. I think
it was a mix. But one also was the first time.
It was first time.
So you two in the same journey.
So we're like, okay. I mean, this thing, people have done it before. And people we are training, people who are sharing their experiences. I think someone actually mentioned last week that, when you train with RunAlex, there's this thing that no one within RunAlex has never finished. I mean, has never failed to finish comrades. So you don't want to be the first. The first person not to finish.
It's almost like an untold pressure.
Exactly. But, you don't want to be the first person who can't finish, and now you're part of this state where
But I love what you say. It's not even pressure per se. It's more. It comes down again to preparation.
Yes.
When I first did it, I met Pep, Rapet, and Bononsa. And then I was kind of, I was running, I was training, I was more into my strength training than the running. Like, no man, you need mileage.
Yeah.
Yes, sir, I want to squatting whatever, but you can't do Comrades like 40 Ks a week.
That's quite fair.
That's quite fair. And it was true. I remember doing my first marathon. I struggled the last 10 Ks. It was really nice. I was going for that sub-4.
Yeah.
Mileage. That mileage thing kicked in. I see what they mean by you need the mileage. So exactly what you're saying. That group of people help you prepare.
Yeah.
Yes, there's a pressure of okay, people. There's no one who's never failed to finish Comrades RunAlex, But at the same time, look, it's gonna happen one day. So things happen, but there's nothing beats the power of preparation. So no, it's good. It's a good point. It's a good point that you make.
So I mean, I think the good thing is that you also feel. I mean, for me, not having been part of any club before. Obviously RunAlex was, for me, it felt like home. You felt like you were part of this journey. Even those that ran Comrades before, they, there was never a point where one would feel like you're doing it for the first time. You felt like you've been doing it for some time because now you exactly. And I think that's one thing that I appreciate about the club, that there's this positive energy within the team, within the club, that we're doing this thing together, and when we win, we win together. When we finish Comrades, we finish together, and that's why even in the training I like the spirit that we know Comrade is tough.
No, it's amazing. I mean, it's amazing. I mean, I love that point you make about winning together, because now when I'm seeing that, okay, on the day I wasn't feeling so well, but not someone did the training, or we go to ups or whatever, and someone does. I remember when we did ups at Pretoria, I couldn't go. You did your sub 40 then.
Yes.
So I was so happy that someone I know did it. Someone I trained with, that means it's possible. But little things like that are so crucial in just keeping that spirit going, and knowing that someone someone you've kind of seen the journey. Yes, they've had injuries, they've struggled here and there. Hey man, coffee shop.
Thank you.
So no, it's amazing points. I mean, I was going to get to my next question being your most proudest moment. It seems like all of them. Like you've had a lot of proud moments. But I mean,
sure. I think finishing that first marathon was a big moment for me, and it's because the feeling comes from the fact that you just finished something that you never thought ever in your life you would actually achieve. I never ever thought about running a marathon.
It's the strangest thing, because your most proudest moments are, I don't know, for me, maybe not speak for everyone, comes from marathons that I never thought I'd finish. I remember doing one down, I was a bit sick. I mean, don't run your marathon sick. The stomach bug, whatever. It went well, and then the stomach now started 20 Ks in. And then I started dreading it. I'm like, 30 Ks more to go. There's still that hill coming towards the end. Maybe we're going to finish. But knowing that you've conquered marathons like that, just like how with you with Sunny Stega. You go to moments in the marathon thinking, what was I doing? But for me, finishing those types of marathons is, or ultra, whatever.
It's funny because the ratio between those that are doing full marathon and Sunny Stega, it's skewed towards the half marathon. So there's more people doing half marathon.
Oh, okay. Oh, yes, it makes sense.
Because it's sort of for them. So you go up using transport. So they transport them to the top of the mountain, and this basically just, which I mean, I didn't know when people say that's the hardest part. I thought it's the easiest part, because you're starting at the top of the mountain, you're running down.
Just like, what is that one?
Capsule.
The one for with the horses.
Yeah, capsule.
It's hard. So at some point, for full marathon runners, you find yourself running alone. And you are in the mountain. Yes, this small road that but you're alone there.
It's hot.
you just know there are people behind you and there's some people in front of you. You just go,
and support.
you know, and that thought, yes, came
Exactly.
quite often.
Yeah.
What was I thinking? I should have just, you know, came and support and just learn about marathons first, because I've never done like you know, support before, where I would go to a marathon and just see how people actually start a marathon, finish it, and how they feel along. So all these things, I see them on the road, and after. So I think the you know, there's that element where in any journey you would question why the journey. You would question why did I do this? Why, you know?
Regardless of the first inspiration.
And I think for me that first one sort of set the tone that, look, you signed up for this, you prepared for this, regardless of how much time it takes you, you're gonna finish this. So I think that sort of kept me going, that you know what, and that's why I'm saying I think it's my, looking back, it's my proudest moment, because the feeling that came with finishing that, no other feeling could match that. The first one. I mean, I obviously now the focus is a bit different in that you always try to improve.
I mean, the journey still continues.
Yes, journey still continues, but I'm saying, as much as, you know, like you're saying, the ups are 10K. Yes, it was a target. But even when you achieve it, the feeling can't match the first feeling that came with. You know, this is the biggest thing I've achieved in running ever since I
think with the upsides, like, okay, I'm prepared, so it's not a surprise. I mean, it's not arrogant at the same time. You know what I mean? It's like like with Comrades or whatever, you've kind of prepared. Yes, you're proud. I mean, But at the same time, it's not your. So, but so it's almost like the proudest come where you face the most hardship. I mean, I remember speaking to one of the guys that when he did his first sub-3, and he missed sub-3, I think 3-4 times. Got minutes.
Few seconds or minutes.
So he did his guy, but anyway. No, he knows himself. So when he did his first one, I remember being proud for him. I can't imagine. I mean, you could have stopped. You could have went, you know what, time, I've tried to something and see what's wrong. But I remember every disappointment that he felt, he took in, he was downloading information. He's like, okay, I made a mistake here, they're fine. Because the margins are not small. The smaller the targets. You know, the margins are now, they seconds. It's even nutrition. Something must be, everything has to correspond, it has to be right. But also just for him fixing all those small things and then reaching that target, for him was that. For him was that,
And for a normal person to miss something with 4 seconds,
they'll never come back. You know, exactly. They'll never come back. But which is something amazing that you didn't have at club. You didn't have a lot of people to kind of bounce back information from. You had a few colleagues here and there with gym. But the fact that you did Sunny Stag and didn't give up. Or didn't even have the thought of giving up, and then you sign up your first marathon, second marathon, first support marathon, January. You do 2 oceans. I mean, it's a fast track journey, but at the same time, just moving into the next question. How did you balance that with work at the time, family, injuries, things like that?
Very difficult. I think one thing I've learned about
and I don't think you're the only person. And I wish out there, guys, ladies, now, if your man is running, just give him a chance. When watching in one marathon, either 5, 10, whatever, then you understand why this guy is behaving like
or your woman.
Either way.
Very, very challenging. I think, I mean, I've said this, that running, like any other activity, I mean, it could be even your studies, it could be your professional life. I think once you commit that there's something big you want to achieve, you know, you sort of know that it will take a lot of your time in the preparation, which we've talked about. to achieve that big goal that you've set for yourself. There's something that you need to give, which is, you know, your time, your focus, your discipline, your commitment, your consistency, all those, you know, you know, and and I think I wouldn't say I've mastered it. It's a big challenge. It's a big fight.
I think this one needs its own.
Yeah,
this one needs
it
its own
needs,
podcast.
to unpack that. You need.
And we will need a balanced audience.
A series.
A balanced audience where there's ladies here.
With the
because I think
ladies and the men and
and it's
the
an
men.
invisible big problem.
Yeah,
I don't
Men in running, women in running.
Yeah.
Balance. I think it needs a proper conference.
But I think-
and you can't fun stuff.
But I think we are the sacrificial lamb, so to speak. So I mean, it's not that we're sacrificing our relationships. I'm not saying that. No. What I'm saying is that I think we're the guys who will go through, maybe draw the blueprint of how to do it. I mean, I love what you said already. Still a journey. I'm not perfect at it. I'm not perfect. I remember when I was going through it the first time, I thought I was the only one.
Yeah.
And then I met Claire, you, MK, everyone else, even some of the ladies that are in the club, family or whatever. Actually, this is something actually we should kind of be open about it. Like,
Yes.
you know, but I mean, we're trying. I mean, we're doing something this weekend that's going to be. It's gonna be
I think what helps really is to make sure that you know, they are also in the picture.
Exactly.
You know, it's not easy to manage it.
Yeah.
But I think always putting your family in the picture, in the preparation, the race, your target as well, because I think a lot of the time that's where the problem starts.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, once you target that goal in Comrades, they need to understand how much
preparation goes in.
Yes, because and that's what you need to share, obviously, with your loved ones or those that are close to you. That look, if I set this target, this is the pace that I need to be running at on race day, and for me to run 88 kilometers at this pace, this is how much time I need. I need an average of what 500 kilometers a month in the preparation phase, or I need 600 kilometers at probably a bit higher pace or something like that. It's I think a lot of time we miss that part where we sort of putting them in the picture. We do the planning ourselves. We don't communicate. We don't involve them in the process, and that's where it backfires.
I think as much as
because you are probably always on the road. Running and
I think you're right. I think beyond communication is still just involve them and so they are immersed in the running environment. So they want about okay, this is what it takes. Okay, the vibes, the networking and running data. So okay, that's why sometimes it's a bit not home in time and stuff like that. So because it goes beyond. I mean, with us, it goes beyond just also the running, because we have a race also prepared. We need to have open up channels of what do you call it, networks, whatever you call them. So
it's a lot of work.
But in conclusion, right, but I think we can conclude the running part of things. Anything else you'd like to add, Mokakatla?
I think for now, the way your question in terms of work, family life balance is the most important thing. And it's unfortunate a lot of people even today, they still don't understand why people running. Every time I get a question, what are you running away from? I forget it didn't work. But until to a point whereby I don't answer them because I'm very short-tempered. The funny part is that at some point, luckily enough, I managed to introduce one of my colleague into running. Right? and it's a good experience, especially first time, from what you've already highlighted. When a person discovers that they can actually accomplish a specific goal, but at the same time, the reward of doing that, you still want to go back, you feel more lighter, you met new people, like it's a completely, I always call it a completely new world when I want to introduce a person to. And the other things that people just train, but it ends there. Just go to a race, 5, 10, regardless, and just see the feel the experience. That's when you will get activated, which I think a lot of people, maybe those who are still on the fence, if RunAlex, for example, is a point whereby it can get more people to be introduced to the sports, not only for training, but also try to take them on the local, on the nearest 5 kilometer, 10 kilometer, and they experience that. That's how you get people activated. And then people get surprised when they see a person who they actually never see, like the ladies at RunAlex. Some of the ladies, I'm sure their friends and family, they never ever expected them to finish a 5 kilometer. The same as people we are taking to Comrades. If you go back to see where they started, like people for Ashley, like if you find out what happened before and what she is today. It's a remarkable story, but anyway, it's a work in progress.
I think we need to get Ashley soon. She has the.
She will come.
Everyone has amazing stories. You movie star, we really moved with this. With this story, I didn't realize actually.
I mean, I used to have that thought as well. I used to have that thought as well. That, people are running away from problems when they run. Until
you also was part of
before running. Before running, obviously. I used to think, why are people running? And I think, I mean, you're right that once you try it and you actually realize that it's fun. Yes, there's the preparation part, which in some cases it's tough, it's not easy. But once you start running, you enjoy the running, you enjoy, and one thing I like about running is that you can choose to complicate life. By always setting tough targets, or it can be a relaxed exercise.
I think Coach Ricardo said it best. But he was saying in the context of Comrade. Was it you or someone at the center of that? Oh, I think it was Coach Mo. You're on your own.
At some point.
Locally, by pre-Comrade, we can assist you. But even for marathon, you always have to have that thing from the back of your head. This is me. This is me alone. I'm just fortunate enough to have a small community that I can work this journey together.
But can you, I mean, just moving forward, can you tell us about anything else? I mean, without revealing much, anything else that RunAlex or you are part of RunAlex?
What do you mean running?
The secrets of that. But what else have you seen that, or do you think RunAlex does? Are you involved in any of the, I don't want to say external, but extensions?
So, I think, I've recently attended the Juniors Day, RunAlex Juniors Day, which was
7 April.
Which was
27.
I think it was one of the great events that I attended, where kids can showcase their talent, and even those that never knew or realized that they've got talent and they were there and they could, I think the event was great in that you could ignite that passion for running, because you're seeing your friends and the kids that you play with running and you winning and being on the podium was a great thing. And I think it's something that I hope that one day or soon we could actually spread it across the whole province.
Exactly.
As opposed to it only being here
just to
in Alex.
Just to put it to context for the viewers, I almost said the watchers, the viewers and the listeners. So every now and then, every 27 April. So in Alex, this is the February we hosted. So we host a juniors athletics event. So come through every 27 April. Come through, bring your kids. Everyone is invited. But I like what you said, that something like this can be spread out throughout.
Yeah.
It can be a provincial thing. I think there's something similar that happened in Soweto. Perhaps we could collaborate and actually take back our power in terms of just instead of waiting for people in in a high or whatever. So I don't wanna also
And if you see how KZN is focusing on kids athletics, it's like all in. But locally, I still don't understand why clubs don't do it. But I guess it's because it's a hard work. It is a hard work. I don't want to lie to you. It's just like I'm almost made a political example. But I think they just have to do it. You don't. If you can't commit to make it every weekend as we do, you just have to start it.
Yeah.
Someone will come and try to probably assist you as it happens with us. But locally, again, I see Kuro. What is Kuro? What Kuro is doing? It's on another level, and I applaud them. I also applaud Supersport school broadcast. It's something that I think it's missing, and even for us in the road running community, we still need that coverage to the maximum level. If you see like people like Kutumela, they are doing it, but in a unique way, which and I'm not trying to give the guy airtime.
No, we're giving him. He's doing a good thing. We're giving him airtime. Giving airtime.
But I like the way he took the approach.
Yeah.
Anyone can come also to do it, but at the same time, I think most of the runners, they are busy focusing on personal best and so on. And for any content creator coming outside, they might not get it. It's always best if it's done by someone who understands. If someone sees you, content creator see you on a mountain sleeping. A person who doesn't understand sport, they will take it otherwise, or they'll just mimic you. As poor people have been.
What was he chasing in the first place?
Understand, but I think we still need more of that. But it's a topic for another day.
No, I think it's good. I think it's good that excellent point that you mentioned that there's still so many avenues that runners can also lots of gaps that the runners themselves they can use their own skills to cover up those gaps because we're all runners, but also we don't talk about what professions we do, what other skills we do beyond running.
That's another big point.
So actually, us ourselves beyond one club, we can actually combine our resources. Come up. What Q is doing is amazing. I mean, they attract what it's suitable for the
if it was
one of the
not for
fastest
that,
runners in the world.
Probably that Litzilius was thing.
No, that 300-meter record.
I went to Colgate just to watch that 5 kilometer. It was just an amazing experience. So, but going back to your point of your experience go on the juniors day, did you bring the kid?
Well,
someone.
the plan was to come with my kid, my boy, on the day. But things changed as well because they were also preparing for exams. I mean, which is some of the things that we don't get to talk about. That as a runner, sometimes you're focused on yourself, and you don't realize that there's you need to also take part in your
personal
loved ones' development as well. Definitely in the next one, he will be there. And I think from there you also signed up. I mean, I've signed him up for the juniors. Yeah, he's joined now the juniors after he's done 5 kilometer. Yeah, he did 5 kilometer. The
Alex
5 kilometer.
Even after climbing that the hill.
That's what we want to hear, brother. You see, if ever, probably if you haven't joined RunAlex, you couldn't have that first experience.
Yes,
and there's a lot of it's just a progression. If you just, I'm 100% sure. Sometimes you just sit alone and try to watch your journey. Either from the beginning or from Nedbank or from.
And mommy,
if you're not impressed,
as well, so
for real.
So see, so now the whole family now is running, and I think.
But you must just be patient with them. Don't
no.
Under pressure. They must go and smoke people.
I think my boy would have the courage to do that because
he's coming.
He actually was proud that he finished before mommy.
Yeah.
So so you understand the part that
Really, so there's some family rivalry.
yeah, there's a bit of, you know, you need
That's
to
beautiful. That's the power
push
of
yourself
sports.
to. And then the funny part is that we actually did training the night before.
Yeah.
I remember we went to local stadium there to do on the track.
Yeah, on the track. Yeah.
All of
And yeah, no, just myself and my boy.
Yeah, I remember.
We did,
Yeah.
I think we did 3 kilometers.
Yeah, I remember you told me about that. Yeah.
And he was running, I think, at 6 minutes per kilometer.
It's actually amazing.
And the following day, he actually ran the same pace, yeah, but for 5 kilometers now. And now even tough because the terrain was.
You're just mentioning something, but
locked in the pace.
like for instance, what you did with your son, it's a completely new experience in a different sports, and in most cases, in a normal context, that's within sports. I mean,
Yeah.
with soccer,
Yeah, yeah.
yet, you know,
Oh yeah.
favor the same chiefs. Thing,
Yes.
But now, if this thing goes and it's all like whole family
Yeah.
penetrated to this level, I think those are the type of stories that we want to hear.
It's actually amazing that you even brought in your knowledge and the stats and the pacing.
Yes,
and
yes.
You see, without even realizing, you're bringing in your own experiences into the session,
Yeah.
and then he applies it also subconsciously or consciously, and then that's how it starts. And then he also now is going to start, doing talking the lingo.
Yes.
Papa 6 pick, I'm going to drop it
Yeah.
to 5. So it's amazing how small something so small. I mean, from your journey.
Yeah.
Is now permeating into his journey, and then it's just started something that we don't know what's gonna brew
Yeah.
of it. But
Yeah.
no, it's amazing. But just moving on, man. Up. What any other projects? You're impressed with the club? I know the club does the reading with the children also for the.
Yeah.
So just to put into context, the club also has a reading program for our juniors every Saturday, Sunday after their sessions. And you'd like to maybe.
Yeah, I mean, it's. I think personally, I applaud RunAlex for obviously the idea behind the developments and especially with the kids, man. You look back. I mean, most of us here started running it probably a few years ago.
Yeah.
And
He's almost.
I started in grade 12 because I couldn't play soccer. And I won the first, but that's a story for another day. It was at PEX High School in Amashashan.
Yeah.
And I was the first person to win the 10-kilometer trophy. I claim it. That's mine, and I want it.
Yeah. So
almost this one.
Yeah. So you're probably the exception, but I think a lot of us started running at a late age. I don't know if it's late, but I think we're already grown-ups, and we sometimes look back and say, we wish we had this opportunity that RunAlex is presenting to the kids. And I mean, there's more kids out there, and that's why I'm saying I hope one day this program would be even bigger and sort of reach.
Because the pool, the pool out there is so huge, but there's no one tapping into it.
Yes.
So it's actually a nice thing that I think the club itself is doing.
Yeah.
Which could be maybe, hopefully other clubs also if they can. I mean, it's not pressure. No pressure to the other clubs. Something that perhaps they could be an outreach project for anyone who wants to, get all these all this talent can filter themselves through a club.
Yeah.
And there's so many opportunities. I mean, there's a cross country track events, there's road events for the children. So it's just that there isn't anyone or any people, or maybe there's a lack of awareness, so to speak. So it's a good point you're raising.
Like the mission of the development for us at RunAlex is just pure straightforward. To create platforms, or go and fix the platform that are existing, and to give them more life. Kids, they have all the time. They probably have some talents that you don't know. But without a platform, just give them a platform, and then they will figure it out. Either they want to be long distance runners, sprinters,
exactly,
or they just want to try something thin in the sports because it's so diverse. Sports is so diverse. Just that unfortunately we don't have the facilities. But I think someone should hear us and build it.
No, we're improvising. Facilities or not, we are forcing this thing.
And I mean the fact that they have, they get the support, which is a critical part of development. That in bringing development in the kids, you need the right structure.
Exactly.
You need the coaching support. You need the specialist in different areas. And like you're saying that obviously there's so much. We have access to resources such as in our network. We know biokineticists that are out there. We know physios, and us being able to bring those resources together in supporting the kids. I think that's something that I think I'm saying personally, looking back, I wish I had access to that. I wish I had the coaching support. I wish I had,
especially with
someone to ignite
with the national talent.
Exactly. That if there's someone who could that if there's someone who could ask me to run and say, but there's something we can develop here. Something like that. And I think this platform for me, I see it as a great platform, to help nurture the talent.
Exactly. I think people in our networks. Can I say his name?
Yeah, you can. As long as it's
Mr.
person.
Best physio in the country, Mr. Maja, he knows himself.
Yes.
Look, if you're looking to support, come through. I think you raise a good point.
Who's Mr. Maja?
I don't. He knows himself. Also, you Maja. You don't run if you're big
Otatu.
Otatu. Yeah, people like the buyers like Otatu from Dead Cats. So people like that. Look, if they're willing to offer whatever advice, whatever support that they could, or if they know of students that are studying that want to, what I mean, sharpen their craft. I'm more than welcome to join in. We can learn from them, and obviously vice versa. So it's we should start these types of symbiotic relationships that will feed one's profession and also help brew the next Akani Simbini.
And the other thing is that I understand, like we have, as you said, we have different background, and most of our profession probably can create solutions that can fill all these gaps. But at the same time, I think the other thing that I've realized is that if you are a doctor, not you, Dr. Akana, but if you are a medical practitioner or you are this
dietitian.
Unfortunately, the way I see it, when you come to the running community, you can have a business.
Exactly.
But in most cases, I'm not sure if they approach it. They just take the same blueprint model that they will use in a normal world and apply it here, because in most cases, the running community is a completely different one. And I think maybe people can think of how they approach the running community, especially if they want to create some project or provide services. They need to look at it in a different way. But I might be wrong. That's also another topic for another day.
Yeah, look, as long as it happens organically and it's not forced and there isn't backlash. If you don't want to do it, that's fine. And if you want to, then if you want to be part of the community, some people I think want to see results first.
Yes.
They want to see, okay, Mokakatla has collaborated with so and so from another club. This has come out of that collaboration, and then they go, oh, I see what you guys are talking about. Then I can join in. So I think that the best thing is to start.
That is the best.
And then you catch the train later, so to speak. So which is kind of happening. I mean, it's happening with. I mean, there's some things we can't.
It is happening.
It's already happening. You're involved in some things. I think I'm involved in some things.
So I think what I was saying is also, if you look at, so you almost want to create the sort of, I wouldn't say the same, but something similar to the culture in Eton in Kenya.
Exactly.
Where everyone in the community knows that this is a community of champions.
Yeah.
You know, a community of greatest marathon runners or short distance runners, track runners. In that they see these champions every day. They see when they see Ricardo running.
They see the journey.
They know. You know.
Until to a point where they see him at some specific international marathon.
Yes, yes. You know, and I think for me, I see development in that way. In that
Should be
with
intentional.
with these kids running and winning races, it creates that culture that, you know what, we are winners here. We are here to win, and in every space that we participate in, we want to win. And it's not by chance.
No,
You know,
exactly.
it's because, you know, if you have one champion coming from Alex, some people think it's by chance that, you know, there's one champion coming out of Alex. But I mean, if we set the standard where everyone is a winner, and we win races, did you see
that? And I'm heading to a point what those juniors did at Kutumela.
Yes.
Like they just did it by themselves.
Yes.
Went in, they conquered.
Yeah.
But the good thing is that when they get to the finish line,
Yes.
like they just crossed together.
Yeah.
You can't define that.
Yeah.
But anyway,
So I think it's amazing because it's something you can't teach, and which is even more better when the juniors themselves, continue this culture of winning.
just like
And
the
then-
time.
and they prove it, within themselves.
Yes.
And that, I mean, the Kamana thing is beautiful because other juniors are watching. It goes all over WhatsApp or whatever social media, and Coach Ronnie tells them about it. These two achieved such and such, and it just becomes, it's exactly like your journey. It just becomes, it's almost like a erupting volcano in that.
Yeah.
They're gonna now start wanting that feeling of winning.
Yes.
Of winning. So no, it's good.
Like for instance, I can mention this thing time.
Yeah.
Now watch.
Yeah.
Like, but that needs a full 3-hour topic on itself because I think there will be a lot of pushback or what. But the way I've realized is that the kids, the juniors, like they see this thing differently today. Like the smartwatch. If you watch one hour Daniel,
Yes.
like Nduvandu, the icon.
Yeah.
Like if it's a maha in Harobana, that's the feedback I got from the man. Like today I walked so much steps at school. I'm gonna put this watch here. Nobody touches it.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna charge it. Tomorrow I'm going to training. This is my property.
Yes.
Understand?
Yes. Yeah.
So she doesn't see it as
an accessory fair like
understand? Yeah. So even if when she grows up, she will, and it's part of track. That's one thing that I like the most. But for her, the watch will be something that
Very
is
important.
a very
Yeah.
important
That's amazing.
thing.
I mean, you see with almost every runner in Kenya, the most important thing is the watch and the shoes.
Yeah.
She or he will be just wearing anything. But when you watch that,
Nothing fancy.
Yeah, nothing fancy, and it's just you and the track.
Yeah.
I mean, luckily we've got track here, and I think that's one thing that.
I mean, it's amazing because the most crucial thing is start the culture,
yeah.
and then the rest will just. I mean, it's amazing that you mentioned already. They already starting that thing you watch.
Yes.
We started like recently.
Yeah,
now.
no.
They
and
already kind of
hence I'm saying I don't want to go in because and then I went because I promised them watches. That's the funny thing. This is a beautiful thing.
They have comments.
And then they don't forget. Understand?
Okay.
I went to take a look, trying to look for a affordable watch.
Smartwatch.
I found the 300,
Yeah.
but if you check out the spec, like it doesn't
Doesn't
have
have
steps. Kind of on a 5 with the loose keys.
Yeah.
Right? I went to Temu, but I was like, I don't trust this.
Yeah.
Let me not risk further.
Yeah.
Okay.
Understand? And then you go back 7 steps forward. What is a watch?
Yeah.
Smartwatch in South Africa.
Yeah.
Do we even have a watch? Like, hence I don't want to go deep.
No, that's
because, you all prefer Gamini.
Yeah.
There was a video who was bashing watches, and I was like, oh, this is just an opening can of worms. Right?
Yeah.
And then you get to ask yourself, why don't we have a watch?
Yeah.
We have a big community, running community.
Yeah.
Why can't someone create a watch? You know, there's a guy that call them koi. They have a watch, right? But at the same time, it's expensive. It's the price range around the Apple one. But those are the kind of people that next time when you do an event,
Yeah.
you go and call them. I'm having a race. Can you be part of this?
Yeah.
Like you watch, see them, see that you won, and then you have to go back.
No, runners with coding background. Hey, fix us a watch. I don't know how you're gonna connect to the GPS.
Yeah.
Just the basic
Yeah, I
watch.
don't know who my champion. And then they must come to
Yeah.
one club and say, guys, we want to test this thing. We want to test this thing. We want to collaborate.
I test it for you.
You know, there's a lot.
No, but it's good. I think maybe just to wrap up, any advice would you have for any up and coming runner, whether young or old? And yeah, just
Yeah.
what,
No, I mean,
what can you tell them? And what's next in your running journey yourself?
And divorce.
yeah, I think, I mean, for the kids, especially RunAlex kids, I think they have the best opportunity, and RunAlex is looking after them. They must use this opportunity that they have. They must never be afraid to challenge themselves. They must never be afraid to push their limits, which is something that, you know, as you get older, you develop that fear.
Yeah.
Because you've seen a lot of things, and you know what's scary, what's not scary.
Exactly.
So for them, I think they have the best opportunity. They've got the platform to showcase their talent. They've got the best platform to support them, nurture their talent. They've got the best coaches, and I think the fact that they are part of a big club that has other runners who developed the knowledge and experience from running, they must always use that that access to a bigger community, which is something that we never had access to. I mean, I made an example of Eton that if you know that someone who has just won Berlin stays across the street,
you watch them start.
You see them every day. When you're going to school, you see them running, training in the morning. When you come back from school, you see them running. That is it's a big inspiration. And I think for the kids, they have access to all of us. Whatever questions they have, they can always ask. And that's why I'm saying that they've got the best opportunity and the best platform.
It's amazing because I saw Kabelo, also national champion now.
Yeah.
Cross country, APSA champion, running with what's his name? That boy that won it in Ghana. So I love that also he himself is humble enough to go.
Yes.
Let's have a few sessions. I was having a session with Coach also the other day. Kabelo. So I love that he's inspired by just people coming in and running.
Yes.
I can train with this guy. I can train with this kid.
Yeah.
Just look. Local champions, Alex, anyway, back, whatever track. Look, if you can find a kid who's showing potential, please, hook them up.
Yeah.
With whatever advice, whatever training, whatever shoes. I know there's a club that's doing this initiative, they're giving up-and-coming runners now shoes. I remember I was at Two Oceans, and some of the runners in that club were doing Two Oceans for the first time. And then they documented where they found them.
Yeah.
Little things like that. I think go a long way. And
as long as I just have a problem with anyone who wants to jump in the wagon for PR.
No, exactly. Yeah.
And it's something that I don't think it will affect the running community.
Mm.
Just like other corporates who just want to be part of it and then promise or just come and test the water and give people hanging. Or promise them to leave, or other clubs to leave wherever they are, and then only to find out they didn't give them the whole scope of what's required for them, and then all those guys end up being afraid to come back and go and join another club. If that happens to you, go back.
The mic working?
Yeah, that's working. The light is this.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, you're right that. Obviously, those that can help it would be great to. I mean, it enhances the experience even when they have the shoes. I mean, I remember when the RunAlex juniors won the Fat Cats race last year. I mean, they were. I mean, the
top three.
Yeah, all three.
That was beautiful.
And I mean, they were running with socks.
Yeah.
Which was even beautiful. That you know you don't say, okay, I don't have running shoes and I'm not gonna run.
Yeah.
And I think some of them had the shoes, but they opted not to wear them.
And the other thing, I think the other thing, I also try to understand, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's what pushed that Samaritan to do what they did.
Yeah.
You know? So I think it was their first official
Race.
route running race.
Yes.
And in most cases they were used to cross country
Yes.
on the grass.
Yes.
Where there I attended a couple of they don't prefer the thing the shoes because they say they are heavy.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So but most of them when they started running on the tar, it's also different from the
grass.
track.
Yeah.
The
track is,
and the
is,
grass.
Yeah.
You know, so but I think that's a discovery thing for the child to decide, you know. And that's an opportunity for someone else to know, okay, why is this child doing this, you know? And then that's the information. But anyway.
Yeah, that's nice though. That's I mean that's a topic for another day. Also, coming back to your trip, guys.
But I see now they've started their group trip running.
Yeah.
I just hope it's become a success. But I think they are at the most advantageous point whereby they need to work with the local athlete to be able to create. There's a lot that they can create. And there's a lot that they can gaps that they can fill. It's just a matter of how if there's no one within their marketing team who understand the running, then they will just end up being on the.
I mean, there's so many people. Exactly that. I mean, there's so many people in the running community that are willing to consult for free. So we come in peace. So yeah, there's a gap,
and then there's Via. I don't know if you know Via, but I'm not sure if Via is doing sports. Seems like they're still in the lifestyle.
Oh, there's Batu. I think Batu, the owner.
I think they're still in the lifestyle, but at the same time, I think.
I think the owner originated in Alex, so Batu would be an even better story. Oh, exactly. Imagine Batu meets Alex and whatever, especially from the kids, from the kids' perspective. But we'll see.
Or we'll do it ourselves.
No, we already have socks, so after socks is the shoe.
After socks is the machine to do this thing.
No, exactly.
It's crazy for people who make our shirts also because things are so expensive and I don't want to blame them. Yeah. But I think at the same time, if they're in our shoes, probably they will have understood. Yeah. But if nothing changes, we will end up doing it for ourselves. No. Just that we don't have the resources. But all these things, the service providers within the road running community, I'm not 100% happy because I have experienced a lot of things there and there. But at the end of the day, I think it's a work in progress.
It's amazing.
It's just a matter of creating teams and finding people. Like for you, what do? You're in the financial sector. Yeah. And then Ricardo is in
everywhere sector.
Right? Myself, I mean, whatever I'm doing. So if we're going to start a shoe company, then I know I don't have to worry about financial. I can worry about design, right? I don't have to worry about something like who's going to take this thing to market. I trust that guy, Ricardo. I trust Glenn. I say, guys, it's the shoe. No, it's amazing. It's amazing how quickly runners learn. I mean, just coming back to your story also, it's so indicative of how quickly runners learn. Whatever market, whether it's
races will make you learn.
Exactly. So and then it comes into the training. So because of the training, all that we have now the patience to do the difficult things. Because we know to achieve great things in running, we have to go through the difficult things and set up all the the right environment to achieve whatever. But we'll see. Time will tell. Just to close, maybe any what's in line for you in your running?
I mean, I think I was fascinated by. I think I just saw a picture yesterday of which reminded me of Shanae Bosman winning the Comrades
Yeah.
at the age of 40.
Classic.
And that sort of triggered something in me that,
Hey.
you know,
And the big is coming.
maybe I still have a chance. Maybe I still have a chance.
Knowing you, yeah.
You know,
Let's
and,
go.
and I think, you know, it's not an easy journey,
No.
but I think it's still possible.
Yeah.
I've seen
I think
different runners. I've seen how they've developed. I think, you know, when I started investing some time into running,
Yeah.
learning about running, and that's when I realized the importance of numbers and how people improved
Yeah.
their numbers. I mean, in Comrades,
I just saw something. Someone posted Helder Stain's Comrade journey. I think she started her first Comrades was at 8:28. So I mean, you make a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think for you know, it's one way of keeping one motivated, and you know, we talked about setting goals for ourselves and
Yeah.
seeing ourselves working through, you know, the journey to reach those goals. And I see this as, you know, one way to challenge myself, that I can achieve anything I set for myself.
Sure. Why not?
So I still believe that one day I can finish with gold.
Yeah. Without revealing
You know.
our age, 40 is still far. For us.
You know,
So we have time.
yeah. So I think, I mean, obviously, what I've seen in Comrades is that people do have progression in their times. I think, you know, the more you do Comrades, the better you become in running. And
That's
and
the hook. Somehow.
yeah, somehow.
Somehow you get better.
Every year
This is
there's a
painful.
1 hour or 2 hours that you cut,
Yeah, exactly.
which is what I'm hoping for this year as well, to cut at least more than 2 hours.
3 hours.
2-3 hours if possible. And I think, you know, we did very well in training, I think, compared to last year.
Yeah, exactly.
I believe that we worked very consistently this year.
Started early as well.
And I really believe that what we're setting for ourselves is achievable. Obviously, you know, every year, if you're able to cut at least anything between 30 minutes to an hour, you know, gold is not that far. Gold is not that far. So I think for me, that would be a greatest story to anyone who's inspired by my story. My 2 kids,
Yeah.
you know, they can
That's
look at it and say,
Yeah.
you know, even when you were not a runner, or you're not
Yeah.
involved, or you're not participating in any sport,
Yeah.
you can still, you know, change that and at least win something at the end of the day. And
That's
you know, so I think that's something that I'm looking forward
Yeah,
to.
this big-
in, you know,
big target you put for yourself.
next couple of years.
Huge target you put for yourselves. Now I'm like, hey, I'm gonna change my targets. But but it's good. But I think what I love is that there's people that are also very close to us in the running community who've done similar. You know, so what you're saying is not impossible.
Yeah.
And actually, it's gonna just inspire the whole close-knit running community of friends. And so look, whatever crazy thing you try to do, I'm behind you. I'm gonna try to do something something crazier maybe, but we'll see. I remember my Comrades last year was a miracle.
Yeah.
It's
No,
fresh.
there's always miracles
To say
with
that
You
Comrades.
look fresh.
There's always miracles.
No, I think just to, you know,
But how?
you have to go off on a tangent.
I think I mean.
No, you know what?
What do you mean a miracle?
No, when I read it, I was going, okay, I'm going to move. I didn't know we were finishing at Kingsmead. I don't know how that information missed me.
Yeah.
I was like, actually, I'm running to my beta again. Last year, my Bill Rowan finished because I didn't, you know, calculate properly.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I'm just gonna smash it. When I get down Bottas Hill, I'm just gonna move. And then, the guy telling me, no, you're finishing around the corner.
Yeah.
That was the most beautiful finish I've ever did in a Comrades.
Yeah.
Went for silver. But anyway, but you'll see. I think you'll see.
So you didn't know?
I don't know. We're finishing at Kingsmead.
Yeah.
If I'd known.
And I mean, when you're coming down there, you can see the stadium. You know it's still far.
Exactly. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, most of it is still far. Let me press on.
Yeah.
I don't want scenes of Comrades 2020, 2022. But anyway, it's possible. Anyone looking to cut time or whatever, again, be part of a club, part of a group, and yeah, anything's possible from there.
Yeah.
But guys, will I do an outro or?
No, I think.
Are we good?
Thanks, Raymond, for taking the time. This will be a part series of what we will be bringing here at RunAlex. By the name myself, I'm Mokakatla Masekela, and I have Coach Ricardo that side.
Pushing.
He can introduce himself. We'll be bringing other co-hosts, obviously, just to balance with the ladies. We started with Raymond because he switched to RunAlex. We wanted to understand the motivation, and at the same time, I think we also wanted to understand his feeling running with the Comrades for the first time with the RunAlex verse. So the next person, one of the novices, and we'll also be bringing leadership, even the juniors here.
Actually, we'll bring the kids
But shout out to Coach Ricardo for lending us this beautiful outdoor studio
set.
While we decide if we want a formal set.
You want a set?
I think our TG's Longile. You will see that now who are doing our one. So we don't even have a heater here. But thanks, Coach.
No, it's good.
And thanks, Watermelon Girl. Thanks, Mr. Ngoepe. Which language do you speak?
Speed.
Ngoepe?
Yeah, my biggest
speed.
No, I'm just shaking. No, I'm totally Limpopo. I did my lessons.
Like you Limpopo, but English speaking on exam.
No,
That's not speaking personal, but
no, I'm talking more. Yeah, but anyway, that's my parting shot.
Yeah. Anyway, Coach Ricardo Kutumela, complete pleasure to do this. Mr. Ngoepe, thanks so much for coming and setting up. Our what should we call you, man?
No. Well, I don't know.
Floor guy.
I don't know.
Studio.
MacGyver. Just saying.
Studio manager.
MacGyver for now.
Studio manager. Studio manager Mokakatla. But yeah, it's been a pleasure. Look out for more episodes to come. I love what you said. We'll bring in the kids, we'll bring in the coaches of the kids, leadership, management,
and community members,
people that started this whole thing. So that's going to be another 3-hour conversation. So we need as much cameras as possible.
Yeah, and equipment.
But yeah, Mr. Ngoepe, any parting words?
Nothing much. Just looking forward to the Comrades next week.
Yes,
I mean, we've been talking about the weeks, counting the weeks.
As we shooting this Comrades is next week, so
yeah, so it's been great. I think, I mean, when we started, we talked about how, as you go, you actually learn that your training profile needs to match the race profile.
Exactly.
And I think the confidence level this time, it's a bit higher than last year.
I was about to ask, how's the feeling towards the day?
Much more positive now. I think last year we were worried about, I mean, obviously, as a novice last year I was worried about finish.
No, exactly.
The unknown that, but I mean, there was also something that, look, if we manage to train so much,
and we spoke about it,
one shouldn't worry about the finish. If you set the target, you can worry about meeting that target, not necessarily the finish part. But I mean, there's so much that you don't know also on the day that.
Did you run any of the long runs organized by clubs, or you just rely on marathon? Because I think it also helped a lot of people.
Yeah, I think I started training with RunAlex before even joining the club. Yeah. So we did Linksfield. We did
West Cliffs,
Allendale as well.
And, so we did a few.
So a couple of even the tough one.
Yeah, the tough one.
As well.
Yeah, the first Panama
as well. Yeah. But I mean, the one thing that we didn't do though last year was the long run.
Yeah.
Like
we did
anything 50, 60. We didn't do.
We did a lot this time around. Yeah.
We did Zoo Lake at the time, but a lot of the time it was limited to like
20,
30, 20. Yeah. But this year, I think we've done more. Obviously, without without revealing much in terms of the challenges we went through.
Our secrets.
Yeah. So, but I mean, we did. I think we did a couple of
the grass sessions as well.
This is also another important thing.
Yes. Yeah. And we did. We did twice 60s. We did long runs this year. Hilly. We've done. Heat training as well, because I mean we've learned, I think, in the couple of races that the weather also can be a factor. I mean, we either train in the morning while it's still, there's still the morning breeze. We train in the evening when it's not hot. But you also need that heat during the day, because Comrades it's mostly
hot
during the day and it's hot. So I think this year quite positive.
Yeah.
And silver is possible this year, I think. So I think we're going for it.
Yeah, no, it's mission get silver, die trying. I mean, just to last message from the novice. Yes, you'll get. I mean, I remember I got the nightmares. I thought I was gonna finish in 12 hours because exactly I didn't know how much training, whether I did enough training or. But then after I finished, I was like, oh, okay, it's not. This wasn't as bad as I thought it was. So my second one, I could really smash it. I could really, the confidence. So you'll see with yours as well that you can, you'll move. Much better. You won't have as much doubt. Look, anyone doing it for the first time?
Yes.
Aim to finish. Then next year, you always amend and adjust and all of that. But
one last thing that I mean that's different. I think we know. I mean, after doing so many runs, you sort of know your body.
Exactly.
Much better. You understand what your body is going through, and you're able to respond than before. Without the experience, you can't read what the stress that your body is under, and when there's when you start cramping or when you start your body is responding in a negative way, you start panicking. So I think now we sort of learned how to respond. How to adjust.
You don't panic.
That's
the key word.
You remain calm. So I think that has helped in the whole training setup, and I think also having people with experience. I think that we don't appreciate that enough. That having people like Prapet, Nomsa, Coach Ronnie, Coach Banana, and that you get so much knowledge and the sharing of the experience. And I think for me, I mean, I've only ran with Prapek once in a race. But one thing I've learned there is the level of discipline.
And that's all it takes.
The level of discipline. And I think for me that has helped me to approach even my training differently. That you sort of need to start practicing discipline in training. When you're training solo, you need to factor in that discipline.
Especially when it's start to build speed. You don't have to run those 420s, 410s all the time. Running with Prapet is amazing.
So I think that for me, it's one thing I'll always be appreciative of, that without joining RunAlex, I wouldn't have had the opportunity to have access to such knowledge and
it's amazing. We should actually get Prapet on the. I mean, I didn't think about him. He's like a sleeping legend. Literally. So, but anyway, stay tuned, Ngoepe.
Thank you.
All good?
Thank you.
Mr. Studio Director,
all good,
producer,
all good,
executive
all
producer,
good.
everything.
You must wait. What is the wait? Subscribe and like.
Hey, you know the deal. We'll put the animations on like and subscribe.
No, but they have to hear it from the horse mouth. Guys, subscribe and like and comment.
Sharp.
Thank you.
There's more coming.
Thank you.